BVBOE shifts the conversation to the earliest years where independence, confidence, and identity begin to take shape. This week, we will sit down with author Angel Boone, whose new book series focuses on helping young children build independence before they ever step into a classroom. From daily routines to decision-making, we're going to explore what it means to prepare children not just academically, but emotionally and developmentally, because the habits children build early do not stay small, they grow with them. Welcome to Black versus the Board of Education.
Baby.
We in here, yeah, we in here, 'cause we been.
Y'all better get comfortable with saying black.
We in here, yeah, we in here.
Black versus the Board of Education.
'Cause we can't get rid of us now. We in here, yeah, we in here, 'cause we can't get rid of us now. And you know that we don't ever go, so you do what you been here.
That's why we are indeed a whole mood.
That's it.
Happy Monday. Oh, and we done have Melissa on highlight. Hey, girl, hey. Happy Monday. Welcome to another episode of Black versus the Board of Education. My name is Miss Laureen, and I welcome you into this place. And as usual, you heard from my baby at the top of the hour. But we're going to go around, make sure you know who's in the building because we have a great show in store for you. This is Built Not Born, Preschool Independence. We're going to make sure we get these babies right. So before we get into the conversation, I'm going to pass it to my co-hosts. I'll start with the lovely lady on the screen, and then we'll come to the gentleman and we'll introduce our special guest. Hey, Miss Tawana, and we'll get into it. So take it away, Melissa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Melissa. I am a sophomore at UC Berkeley, and I'm excited to be here today.
And you are wrapping up another year.
Yeah, I'm going to be a junior. That's crazy.
Junior. Oh, my gosh. It's just like you just started. Wow. Right next to me is
Mr. Fox. How's everybody doing?
Mr. Fox. Oh, he done toned it down since the went on live. Wait a minute.
I toned it down because as we were starting off, I was like, wow. I was looking at our guest, and she's not just a special guest, and she's actually a person we talk about culture in here, and she's in here, so I couldn't wait for the microphone to get around for her because the books that's on her table is actually the books that is in my nephew's actual repertoire. Those were purchased for him to read, so I
love it.
This person across, we're not just introducing a guest; it's somebody who's also welcomed in our home. So,
all right, I love it. And right across from you is
Mr. Chastain. Happy to be here,
and we're happy to have you. And you know what? I'm so excited. This is my sister from another mister. We go way, way, way back. We're not going to tell you just how long, but welcome to Black versus the Board of Education. There is absolutely zero to be nervous about. It's just a conversation among friends. And we got a couple people listening in, and we want to know about you. So go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us about you. Something. I don't know anything.
The world doesn't know, huh? I appreciate being here. Like I was saying before, I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller.
Come on now.
So my name is Angel Boone. I am a child care provider of 27 plus years. And I just decided to look at kids and tell their story, basically, because there's things that are happening at school that parents are like, no, my child would never. But they are little people coming to me, telling me everything. So I just felt like we need to put it in the book.
Yeah, and so when you say they're telling you everything, there's nothing secret held from little kids. Right?
Absolutely not. And please believe they're tuned in, even if they're not looking at you. They're tuned in for sure.
Because they're little sponges. And so I'm excited to delve into this conversation because I think a lot of times the only things we hear about preschool, especially us as education advocates, where we hear the bad stuff, right? The ones that get sent out of the classroom. We hear about behavioral issues. We hear that Black boys are more likely to be identified as emotionally disturbed as early as preschool. Yes. And there are a number of school districts around Sacramento County which are identified as significantly disproportionate in the way that they identify our babies as emotionally disturbed. So you said that these kids come to you. What are some of the things that you're noticing right away when you first meet a baby? What's something that sticks out to you?
So usually if they're older, so they're already ready for preschool, because usually I get babies from like 2.5 months to 3 months old, and I take them all the way to elementary school. But when they come in older, they're more dependent because they're...
Tell me, when you say older, give us the age range.
Three.
Okay.
Three, because they've gone past the quote unquote terrible twos, right? So 3, they've become dependent on that parent. Usually the ones that come in at 3 is usually a single mom or a single dad, because I've had a lot of single dads come in and they don't feel like that they can do anything on their own. So that's why I say dependent. So it's like a hard pull away, because they're like, oh no, they can't do this, they can't do that. But when you're not in the room, they're their own person. You show them hands-on how to do something, and they'll teach you, well, this is the easier way to do it from what you showed me.
Oh, all right. Mr. Fox.
I have a question for you on the side. As I was listening to you, it just came out the side of my head. I was questioning when you said the single fathers as well, and I do not want to shine away from what we're talking about or turn a shadow up a highlight and say, hey, don't forget about the single fathers out there. That's not what I'm saying right now.
Right.
But in retrospect of my question for fathers that are listening who are afraid to ask questions, my question would be, what are some of the questions that the single fathers ask when they come to you?
So that is a good question. A lot of them don't know what to ask. And so I like to take this moment that when people are looking for childcare, that they're asking the right questions.
Okay.
Because they don't know until their child is in there, and then they're like, well, I didn't even ask that. You need to ask them, how often are they changing diapers? How often are they asking their child or offering the bathroom? A lot of people are saying, oh, well, it's hard to potty train because they're having a lot of accidents. Well, it's also training their mind, right? So if you're not saying, hey, it's time to go to the bathroom, or you're asking, do you want to go to the bathroom? Of course, any kid is going to say no, because they don't want to stop what they're doing to go to the bathroom. So questions like, how often are they going to the bathroom? Who's taking them to the bathroom?
Very important.
And when they're in the bathroom, are they independently doing it by themselves, or is there an adult in there with them? Once they have learned how to go to the bathroom, there should not be an adult in there.
Okay.
Standing outside the door, absolutely. With an ear out, absolutely. They should not be inside. I've had fathers come and say, well, they had to help them in the bathroom, and that one teacher is always taking them to the bathroom. That's a red flag for me.
Okay.
So that's another question. Sleep schedules, asking what's their sleep schedules? How often are they going to sleep? If my child is not a napper, are they able to just rest? And how long is that rest period?
Okay.
So we do have non-nappers if they just don't go to sleep, but they are to rest their bodies for at least 30 minutes. And then they can take a book or a color crayon, and they're on their mat though, so that they're not disturbing those that want to rest.
Gotcha. Miss Melissa.
I appreciate that information.
Why are these important questions for parents to ask and have knowledge of? Like, a lot of the times we talk about on the podcast, parents needing to know more about the environments and academic environments that they're putting their kids in. So from your perspective, why is it important for parents to ask these questions?
It's important because when the kids are starting there, knowing what that school's policy is as far as independence, how much are they doing by themselves, what are you helping them with, is because if a child has more needs, because you don't really know what that child has until the age of 3.5.
Okay.
You can speculate before that,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't be diagnosed until after that.
Okay.
And so if they don't have the tools there because you hadn't asked, they will not be able to recognize, hey, my child needs a little bit more. It becomes behavioral.
Okay.
Because now they're like, well, they don't listen. They don't sit down. They don't do this. They don't do that. But because you didn't ask, like, when do you start assessing children?
Mm-hmm.
Because at my center, we are not a play-based. We are academic.
Okay.
So a lot of our things, kids are reading at 2.5 at Learning to Love. Like, we are more into, we want this to be a fun environment for you to be able to take this and go and succeed further on.
Okay.
But if you're not asking the questions like, what is your policy? What is your curriculum? Once something happens, you're not gonna be able to believe the child or understand why they're having the issues because you don't know what their policy is.
Okay.
Did I answer that question?
So you said at 3.5, they get diagnosed for like,
Mr. Chastain.
excuse me, diagnosed
Thank
at 3 and
you.
a half. Forgive me, at 3 and a half, they get diagnosed for like what?
So if they're early on and you're like, I think my son or daughter,
Something's not right.
something's not right. They're not either connecting. They're not giving me eye contact. That's when you're going to ask the doctors to say, hey, I need you to run a test to find out if they have either ADHD or they're autistic.
Okay.
Things like that.
Okay.
Unless they were born, without that chromosome, then you won't know until they're in school and start interacting with other children.
Okay. 3 and a half. That's dope.
And so I'm listening to you, and I hear about the diagnoses, but I heard you also say that people aren't asking the questions. And so what comes to mind is there seems to be an assumption from some adults that the kids already know, and they like to hold them to this standard without actually being the one to have taught them.
Right.
And so what would you say to educators who are getting into this field because they got a couple of ECE units, right?
Yes.
And they took a couple classes,
Yes.
and they think they know children? What would you say to them about making sure that they are reinforcing or teaching certain skills that they are then going to hold these children to?
So first I would tell them to disregard size, because just because they look big doesn't mean they're big. You have 3-year-olds that are, looking like 5-year-olds.
Right.
So that first they have to take that out of their mind, right?
Mhm.
And the second is you don't assume that the child knows something. You're going to take that and make it a teachable moment, no matter what it is. Even if you think about it, when you have a habit, it takes 21 days to get that habit.
Yes.
So even if you think they know, teach them again.
Okay.
Everything that the child
Repetition.
is repetition, and everything that they're doing, it should always be a teachable moment.
Okay. Mr. Fox.
As we was talking, I was listening to you, and just like every other field that you're in, when people speak, you know if they know what they're talking about because they're book read, or you know what they're talking about because they know intricate skills in between times. And I was listening to you talk about the potty time, and I was listening to you talk about the structure of what a child their self knows. I helped participate in a potty training, one of our family members, and yeah, that is how it goes. And that kid did say, stand outside the door.
Bye. Close the door.
Close that door. And he did say, what are we supposed to do now? First we taught him to wash our hands. And he also said, hey, you didn't wash yours.
Absolutely.
So when I say that, and you was talking about the early independence in the field that I work in, mentoring with boys, I'm noticing sometimes we're having to tell them stuff like you just said, reteaching them certain levels of independence. I personally feel, not disregarding or bashing nobody, that they should have learned at home. Bringing that up to my question. This is the question. How might stronger early independence change how students experience school systems later on?
Great question. So it does start early, right? So for me, I start teaching kids sign language at 2.5 months. By the time they're 6, they have language. So it's all about teaching them language, how to use their words. So when we're having conflict, kids can't put it together unless they're given those words.
Absolutely.
So for me, we're too busy trying to fix it for them instead of showing them how to fix it. So even as early as toddlers, we're using gentle touches. Let's have a conversation with our friend. Tell your friend how you should be treated. You don't like to be hit. Tell your friend you don't want to be hit. If we're not giving them the tools, how can they carry those tools on to elementary school? That's when we find bullies. It starts in preschool. I've had mean girls in preschool where we had to redirect, like, no, we're nice to all of our friends. We're all inclusive. We need to talk and use our words. And people are like, well, they should play with each other all the time. I don't like being around people all the time. So why should the kids have to be around?
Straight up.
They want to take out, I call it thinking time. They want to take that out of the preschools. Why? That doesn't have to be a bad thing. I need thinking time. I want to sit by myself and build by myself. I shouldn't have to share everything I have. Why can't I have a moment by myself?
That might be the way I decompress.
Exactly. And so they're taking those things away. And so when they get older, they're like, oh, I'm not supposed to do that. I can't do these things. And then now we have built up like, I don't want to be around people. Or, they lashing out because they need time to themselves to decompress.
Straight up.
When I come home from work, I sit in the car for a moment to decompress because you don't want to take that in. So why aren't we teaching our babies to do that? To decompress. It's okay to take some time by yourself. It's okay to go and get a toy and play by yourself. But yes, we do want to be social. You give them moments to be social, but give them moments to be independent and by themselves.
Gotcha. Melissa.
I love everything that you're saying. And I have a question kind of like similar to what you're talking about, like the independence and giving them the option to make their own decisions. How does that independence connect to a child's ability to have confidence in their own voice later on in life?
Again, a great question. So I found that when you're teaching them their independence, like showing them different things that they can do, when they do it by themselves and they're looking around like, who saw that?
Yeah.
I just did that all by myself. Even reading, because I'm really an advocate of early reading because they have to know. They have to figure out this is something that I have to do for the rest of my life. So the earlier, the better. Mm-hmm. So for the independence, when they learn sight words and they're like, and they're in the car and they see the stop sign, and they're telling their mom, that word says stop. They're excited because they feel like they've taught you something. Did you know? That's their confidence. That's the first thing. Did you know?
Yeah.
Did you know? So I think that takes their confidence to a different level.
Right.
Because now they're ready to teach everybody.
I love that. I love it. Mr. Chastain.
So I was gonna ask about like how does a parent really support that without feeling like they're letting go of their baby?
Ooh. Yes, a lot of them want to hold on to that baby moment. So it's steps for you too, right? As a parent. Because I noticed, and I'm just going to say, like with drop off, the parent is more upset than the child is. So it's the separation at that point, right? So I'm like, they're like, oh, they're going to miss me so much. I'm like, actually, when you leave, they're like, and what's funny is that kids know. So they put this whole act for you. Because they know it's hurting you.
It's important to you.
It's important to you. So they're like, oh, I'm so sad. I don't want to go. But as soon as you're gone, they're like, oh, can I play with blocks? So they're having conversations. I know you got that. Like I have someone that comes constantly with bottles, and the child, every time they come in, they don't want bottles. They just they hand it to me. No, thank you.
Take that.
Yes, but they want to hold on to the baby.
Wow.
Yeah, but I don't need bottles.
Wow.
So
big boy.
Right. So when they're at school, it's different because they have rooms where they can go to and be independent. If they're at home and they just point to something, mom and dad already know what I want. I don't have to use my words. I don't have to go get it. They're going to give it to me and they're going to open it up for me. But at school, they're able to open up their little snacks and let me go get my water bottle. They know what their water bottle looks like. And
wow.
And they clean up.
I don't think that we even think about that. I mean, well, I've never thought about it. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, yeah, we open it. That's the baby, right? But you're saying that we're handicapping their ability to do it themselves when we're trying to do everything for them. Can a lack of independence early show up later in life or in discipline issues?
I believe that it can, because their voice is not going to be able to be heard because they're going to be kind of, should I say that? No, let mom say that. They're not going to know how to advocate for themselves because we're not teaching them early that you are your own person. You can be independent. You can do this. All you have to do is speak up. Now, just because I can't open up something doesn't mean I can't say, can you help me, please? I can use my words. That doesn't mean I'm not independent. That means I was able to advocate for myself and say, I need help with this. Show me so I can do it next time.
You know, I just had some time with my grandbaby. is 1 year old and he sits and he eats and he will tell you, he can't say words, but he'll more and he'll point to what he more, eat.
Absolutely.
Right. The dog's name, he's comprehensive
Yeah.
of these things because we are at home we're giving it to him like that. Repetition, like you said, right? That's power.
Absolutely. I just feel like at school they because there's so many other kids. If you think about at home, it's just me and the sibling, or if I'm the baby, they're gonna tune in. I don't have to use any words. And I think when they're at school, they have to use words. I have to be heard because there's
I'm competing with other kids.
I'm competing with other people that have words,
right?
And I'm still trying to navigate through it. So if I don't speak up,
Right.
I'm not gonna be heard.
I like what I hear you. How you the part where you said the kid when they show up, they're like, "Did you know?" One of the littlest people's in my life, man. He's like 2, and that's what he does. He'd be like, "Hey, the little ones they hate to say, Uncle, we bald head man, whatever." But did you know? Look, and
Watch me.
All he did is he just jumped up, and then he just he'll just walk over here. Watch this, and he went over and he just looked at Chastang and he just. And I was just like, I didn't care he was tall. You seen me? I went right over to him. Did you know you can too? So when I hear that and we're talking about independence, I never knew I was going to be in a young person's life the way I am. I've been my whole life without being in young people's life. I say this because it's a lot of people who never knew children was going to be in their life.
Right.
They just show up and they just like, boom. Well, they looked there as the excuses. I didn't know. They just showed up. I'm 40. I didn't know. But showed up as who I was. And it showing up as who I was at 40, I gave him a lot of independence. And I noticed every time we go somewhere, letting him advocate for himself, every time we turn a corner in the backseat, he feels, like you said, they already know. He can tell at 2 with the car slowing down. Hey, when we pull over, I'm with you, Uncle P.
Don't drop me off.
We pull over, we pull up, I'm with you. So if the door open and he just waking up, hey, where you going, Uncle P? I'm with you. Wherever you go, I'm with you. And he knows that. So I just figured that out on my own in time. Just give him independence. Just give him a safe place. Give him that to go along. Just based off what I determined I didn't see him have or didn't have, having or not having. I'm questioning to myself if I see you over there with books on the table that actually my nephew actually reads. What is it that inspired you, or to put that onto the table for us as culture, for the rest of us to interpret that out here in the community? Like I said, you're somebody who we've welcomed you into our homes and our communities. You've been out here. You're not somebody who just, hey, bring her in here and not nor do we ever, but
right.
you on people's shelves right now in their homes teaching. Where'd you get this knowledge?
So go ahead and hold those up because I want to make sure that they can see this book. This one right here. That's Preschool Independence right there. And it has the name of your actual daycare on it, Learning to Love Preschool.
Can you
right?
hold the other one up for a Chastang? Pass me one. Let me hold one up too, man. Let me be seen with one of them books.
And you got Preschool Etiquette and then Making Friends. Now, before you gonna answer his question if you remember what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Before we do that, these are available where?
On Amazon and Underground Books.
Underground Books here in Sacramento and on Amazon. You can get you a set of books, DJ's Preschool Adventures, and Making Friends, Learning to Share, Play, and Include Everyone. I love it. Preschool Etiquette, what does that say? Using our words and good manners at school.
Absolutely.
And then Preschool Independence says a story about bravery, friendship, and growing up. Now, I happen to know, I believe you have a child named DJ.
I do.
Is this DJ? Yo, DJ?
So bits and pieces of DJ it's actually a group, with all 3 of my children.
Okay.
So different things that they've gone through. But yes, the first one is really DJ.
Okay.
And the things that I had to go through as a parent, and then what I got to see in the classroom.
Okay.
So you asked,
what was it?
And Katrina Lawson said her grands love this book series. Just
where this culture came from? Where this knowledge that is how did you put this together?
So I wanted parents to know about what's going on in the classroom, because you can get, your notes saying, hey, this is what because I do 2 positives to a negative, right? You don't want to come, you shouldn't want to come and say they was messing up again. This is what they were doing again. But what I would like I want people to read the book and actually be able to look through the eyes of a preschooler.
Okay.
To know what they have to go through. This one is more of them dealing with being afraid of doing something new and not really wanting to, and encouraging parents to, although they may not like it at first, let them continue to try it, and so that they can get adjusted and used to it. As I went through all the series, this will be a series of 7.
Oh, okay.
All the way to him going to kindergarten.
Okay.
So my Making Friends.
Which one was first?
This is the first one.
Okay.
Making Friends is second.
Okay.
Making Friends has a deaf child in it.
Okay.
Because DJ.
Oh, I see her hearing aid on the
on the
cover.
cover.
Okay.
DJ learned sign language. All of my children have learned sign language since they were 6 months old.
Okay.
I really encourage parents to just get the gist of it. Doing more, doing eat. Because once you give them language, they will succeed and grow and experience things faster.
Okay.
But being inclusive was my whole purpose of doing Making Friends, not being bullies, stepping out, and it's okay to be inclusive. Now there is controversy in here because it talks about DJ being, frustrated because he doesn't want to do something that somebody else is doing. I want to do my own thing, but it's a group project. You have to go with the group. You can't always be, it's my way or no way.
Okay.
You have to be able to adjust and say, okay, we can try what you're doing. We did what I wanted to do. Let's see what you want to do. Let's do it together. So that was one thing.
Real life childhood.
Real life challenge. And then the etiquette book, I always like to use different words, like walking feet and they no thank you bites. That's the new thing.
You said no thank you bites?
No thank you bites.
Okay.
That's the one thing that the parents are like, I like that. Because kids see something green, something yellow. They're like, I don't want that.
That's me.
How do you know? You haven't tried it. Just take a no thank you bite. And parents are like, well, what if you
bite?
Yes. What if you
just try it?
Don't just try. Just try it.
Try it. Okay.
And usually they're like, that was good. So in that book I have jicama because most kids aren't exposed to that. They're not exposed to it, but so
I can hear it when I chew. It's like the popping. I can't do it.
But there's a lot of different things that I wanted them to experience to get to see new words because each book has a glossary in the back.
Okay.
With new words in it.
Nice.
But the etiquette, I have a lot of things in there.
Stay tuned in.
Yeah, a lot of things in there that I want parents to use. But don't be upset because when you start using them, they will use them back. I'll give you a story.
Okay.
I in my center, it was a little spacage, so I had a phone, the cordless, and if you keep it off too long, it dies. So I had to run across the room to get the landline. And one of my friends was saying, "Oh, Miss Angel, you're not using walking feet." I was like, oh, you're absolutely right. So I can't be mad because I'm teaching them. Inside, we use walking feet. We only use, our running feet outside. So just giving them certain words of manners and being understanding that what time you need to be at school. Nobody wants to talk about those things, but if there's a time you're supposed to be somewhere, you have to be timely or you may not be able to get in. So we do talk about what time you're supposed to be at school, about learning time, asking yes, thank you, no, thank you, please, just manners, period. Because just because they're little doesn't mean they can't say thank you or no, thank you, or gentle touches.
Absolutely. Melissa, you've been quiet, too quiet. Come on, pop in here.
No, it's really interesting because I know that I want to work in education. And so hearing it from their perspective of working with younger children is something that's really interesting. So I'm just taking in all the information. I don't want to work with younger children, but I really appreciate all of the information. And so I have a question about, you talked about the diversity that you have in some of your books. And so I'm wondering that outside of that, how does the diversity and the differences of children and their families, like family structures, culture, environment, and those things, how does that shape how independence is taught in different children?
So it is different because I do have non-English families
Really?
as well, and the transition from when they're dropped off and when they're inside the classroom, they're their own culture now.
Mm.
And I know it's weird to say that, but the kids in tune with each other,
Mhm.
and I love it because even my non-speakers, they're learning English at school right now. I've had to learn a little bit of Spanish. Don't
Mhm.
test me because
Okay. Like, girl, what you learn?
no, I just know the gist of
The basics. Hola.
You know,
I know how to get to the door.
bonjour.
Buenos dias.
She said bonjour.
Bonjour. No.
That's French.
That's French. That's French.
See, that's diverse.
Diverse. Right. But
She said, "Don't touch me though." That was, she said it all the time. I just
Bienvenidos.
but don't touch me with it.
so we do some exercises, and there's a song that comes on.
Mhm.
As soon as that song comes on, and it's in English, everybody knows all the moves.
Repetition.
But I like that the kids that are speaking English they go right in and embrace. Let me show you. So they're teaching each other the culture of the classroom.
Right.
Outside of that, I did have a family that said they don't speak English at home,
Mhm.
even though the parents know how to speak English. The kids won't speak English at home,
Oh.
but they speak English at school.
Mm.
And so when I used to speak Spanish to them, my small words like poquito, they would kind of look at me like, no,
No. Oh.
you can't speak that here. You're only supposed to speak English. They would never respond in Spanish to me.
Okay.
They would only respond in English.
That's big.
That's more than big, because we always be saying to ourselves, what do people learn culturally in their house? And I can understand somebody coming from a Spanish culture wanting their next generation to learn English, because it's important for us that are coming over here to learn English. They're telling theirs, hey, speak English at school. And then sometimes I see other people try to be nice and think they speak their language, and then they get offended saying, oh, now you act like you don't know how to speak Spanish. And this person has been instructed. I'm just trying to learn your actual language over here. And the misconception comes in between the two.
Exactly.
And you write about those real life experiences in the books about how the kids walk themselves through these things.
Yeah.
What do they do?
And I do in the etiquette book. My mom was a little traumatized. I have a biter in there.
A biter.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and this is real life. Like, these are things that have happened in the classroom. When you have a biter, you have to shadow that person. You don't know right away that they're a biter until it happens. Okay. And so parents should understand, like, unless they're biting at home and it's disclosed to us, there's no way. You couldn't imagine the upset that
everybody knows I was a biter.
Oh wow.
You were the biter.
Oh, okay.
She
So
said
you had
got
to
to shadow them first. You got to walk behind them until it happens. They just bite on something. What is that?
So shadowing, whatever that child is doing, there's a teacher that's assigned to them.
Wow.
And so they don't stop them from playing, but they need to be right there to get bit. Basically, they have to stop the child before they bite someone else, because now we already know that they're a biter because they're not using words.
Okay.
So
there's a cutoff point to that too, like an age.
For the biting?
No.
I'm like, no.
We still
I'm talking about from the age of the communication aspect of the communication. You already got the like 3.5 years before they're diagnosed, but we're with the education. I mean the communication aspect before they start biting. Where's that? What age is that?
So biting starts about 1.5.
Got it.
Okay, he gonna write it down.
18 months they start biting. And that's why I encourage anybody to pick up some sign language. The making friends, there's all the sign language you need.
Okay.
Because it gives them words before they have words. Because if you think about it, I have my toy and somebody comes and takes it.
I'm just gonna bite you.
I'm just gonna bite you because I can't get it back and you're bigger than me. So I'm gonna bite you. Nobody understands. I'm crying and pointing. Nobody understands what I'm saying. Okay, I'll just bite the person and then
get my toy back.
And get my toy back.
Mm-hmm.
That's the situation.
Now we have to watch, because for between 18 months and 2.5, what I had yesterday is still mine today, no matter if you're playing with it. So we have that problem.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So territorial.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how do you break them out of being territorial?
So what we know, you had that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
However, Joe has it today. When Joe is done, please say, Joe, when you're done with that, can I please play with that? You have to, and mind you, they're 18 months, so they're not going to be able to give all those words.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm giving the words for them, and Joe can say yes or no.
Gotcha.
So I kind of give the little say yes.
Right.
We don't want to get bit. No.
Steering them in the right direction.
So at what point does helping actually start holding children back? Like you said, I'm giving you the words now, but at what point do you stop giving the words and expect them to start using them?
So we have to know our environment, because when you've given them the words, they've grown a little bit, and they've had to be the opportunity to use what you shown them, and they're still not. You can tell. Okay. Like at school, when they're with me, I absolutely know. Well, we know that you have those words because you gave those words to me. But at home, I can still play it because you haven't seen it at school. I don't know any of that at home. So if I'm still doing this, and my teachers told you I can use words, but if I'm still doing this, pointing, and you're still giving it to me, I'm going to continue to point. I'm going to continue to bite at home if I have to. I'm going to continue to throw tantrums because you're allowing me to, because you're not holding me accountable. So I know that when we have tantrums, sometimes their body is uncontrollable, but acknowledge it. I understand you're upset, but you can be upset without throwing your body. You can cry without screaming. If you tell them what they're okay with doing, then they're less likely to throw their bodies, throw their fits, fighting, biting. But if you're saying, teeth are for food, not friends.
I like that.
I like what you're saying. I have a different question. I notice in these experiences, everything that you're saying is actually correct. I'm learning them on the spot with the youth that we deal with, but I'm also learning this. There's two types of people who are dealing with these youth. So my question is geared towards when doing that. There is a point when, we're doing the nudging, and when I seen you do it on the spot, I thought of the teacher. Some do, they try. Hey, they're nudging them. Hey, I'm doing the talking, and then guess what? We have my little guy right here he's set on his no. nah. And then this is where, for me,
willful defiance.
Yeah, willful defiance, and people start to say, "Oh, this child has a lack of discipline." And when in my mind, I'm wondering, how can we give the parent or teacher or uncle or brother or father the courage to understand the discipline is actually on the adult. To now I understand my guy is saying no, it's hard. I have to get my other child on, and now I have to sit and, like you said, you're allowed to have the right to say no right now and walk you through this situation. What would be the procedure for an adult to make sure when this child says no and he's hard on his no, we don't want to punish him. He has the right to. I'm having a hissy fit right now. So
first we have to figure out what the no is.
Okay.
Right, because that really depends. I mean, that really matters. So if we're all leaving, it's time to go, and you're saying no, I'm going to just stay home. That's not an option. Right. So we have to say, okay, I understand you don't want to go. However, these are the things I have to do. There's no one here to watch you. So you're going to have to swallow your no, and I'm going to need you to go with us.
Swallow that.
I like this. I like this.
Swallow that. Swallow that.
And walk with us.
I like how you're drawing the contradictions of what you're about to break down.
Right.
So,
and then we also have to remember that they can only control certain things. So that's where their hard no's are. If I don't want to eat anything, you can't control me to eat it. I can say I don't eat meat no more. I don't know that you don't eat meat because you're not going to eat it. You don't want to eat it. That's your choice to not eat meat.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the consequences, and you have to let them know, you will be hungry later because you haven't eaten anything. Your body is going to want you to eat. I want parents to understand, just let them not eat. They're not going to starve. They will eat when they're hungry. Now, with that being said, if they're not eating the meat, don't give them a bag of chips.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
That's not an option.
That's not an option, because that's what it is. I can not eat my food because I'm going to go ahead and get that candy bar or that chip later.
Mm-mm.
And that's the main thing. Well, they didn't want to come. They didn't want to go to school, so I gave them a bag of chips so they'll go outside, or a bag of cookies
To get in the car.
to get in the car.
Yeah.
Reward.
And you're saying don't do that.
Don't do that. And then the sad part is they give them the toy or the chip, and then they say, well, Miss Angel will take it when you guys get there. So then
Oh, then you have to be the bad guy.
They spot you coming a mile away, and this is what they do.
Yes, unfortunately.
They're all behind their back.
But I'm
So, but aren't they teaching the child to listen to you and not to them?
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. I've gotten calls on the weekend.
To tell the kids something.
Yes.
But you also said that I like what you're saying, because you're drawing the contradictions that we speak about in here. That's mind you, what she said, what a lot of teachers don't have time for, or a lot of us as advocates don't have time for. I get calls on the weekend too. You have, we all have, but you're setting it up for making calls that can't happen. So on the weekend, when it can't happen, now this kid is in your that's when the problem becomes the home environment.
Sure.
Yes.
And you haven't let them be independent. You haven't broken shit, and you've been coddling. Now this problem comes
Coddling
out
and rewarding.
Yeah, coddling and rewarding.
Right.
And this problem breaks out on Saturday or on Sunday.
And when parents sign up with me, I really say, look, we could be co-parents. But what we do here, you gotta model it. We can't say, okay, it's time for them to start potty training, and then at home they don't have to potty train, but at home, but at school they do. It doesn't work. I mean, and I've had that happen. Like, well, we're ready to start potty training, but you're bringing them in a pamper every day. That's not helpful.
Yeah.
Or onesie.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have to be on the same page, and kids know, like, I can do this here, but I can't do this here. They know how to code switch at an early age.
For sure. That's going to mom and dad's house.
Man.
2 different houses, 2 different sets of laws, 2 separate rules, but you go this way and this way.
Absolutely.
And they know.
And then they know how to play you against each other.
Oh yeah, that's called splitting.
They'll do it right in front of your face. I've seen literally little bros as I'm dropping them off with their mom in our programs, where I'll be then told them, hey, pick that up, and they be like, and their mama be like, Joshua, I know you don't want to do it, and just because they heard her voice, they turn around and
that's exactly what they do.
Pick that up. All right, I'm picking it up, Mr. Fox. Okay, I know I dropped it.
And that's the key, though. That's the key, because when I have problems at school, I do have conversations with the kids when the parents are not present, and when the parents come and pick up. Okay, so now we're going to have the same conversation in front of your mom, so that your mom knows what actually happened and how we're going to handle it. So the key is to continue to do it whether who's present or not, because that's what they're trying to see. Because if my mom comes, you're not going to say that to me. Oh yes. I am. Because we all need to understand that there's a respect that's going to go across the board between me and you and your parent.
So are parents sometimes unintentionally creating the very struggles they expect schools to fix later?
Absolutely.
Can you tell us how?
They're allowing things that they know the school is not going to allow. And then they're not correcting it. They're like, well, they don't get to do that a lot. I've had parents say they have all the structure that they need at school. When we get home, they don't need structure because it's too much going on. But they need structure, because in life, that's what happens. When we're adults, we don't get to pick and choose where the structure lies. So if you're taking it away at home, saying you don't have to, unfortunately, I've had so many horror stories that I've had a parent say, yeah, we fed him, but he didn't want it, so he threw it on the floor. So I left it there until he was ready. So when he came to school, he thought it was okay to just swipe the toys on the ground and walk away. We're not doing that. We're going to go back and we're going to pick up every toy and put them on the shelf. You may take a toy and play with it, but the consequence is now it's time to clean up, and you don't get to play because you had to take the time to pick up all the toys that you dropped. Purposely.
Melissa.
Yeah, I have a follow-up question that's related to the question you just asked, Ms. Lorraine. If that independence that you talk about that you see sometimes at school and not always at home, that's not always mirrored, if that independence isn't built early, should schools be expected to carry that responsibility later in fixing that behavior?
You thumped her.
I mean, as a teacher, isn't that our responsibility? It's not the kid's fault that the parent dropped the ball. So, unfortunately, some teachers are not in the field for the kids. So when you find that teacher, they're like, "Oh well, your parent didn't do it. I'm not doing it. I'm not that teacher. Let me help you.
Let me get you together quick."
Absolutely, because it's not the child's fault. All they're doing is a learned behavior. They've learned it in their environment, and now they're being punished at school because they didn't know that they weren't supposed to be really doing that. It was okay before, Why is it not okay? So now they're confused. Why is it not okay now? My mom let me do that. Or my dad let me do that.
Yep.
And now it's like my parent is going, and what's sad is that they're acting out and the parent is not even figuring out, hey, I might have created that. They're going in blazing, ready to go off when it should have been stopped before that. Let's find out what's going on first and then go in guns blazing. Now,
Mr. Fox, why are you laughing?
Because I often hear this from parents. They be saying this. They be saying, I would keep it 100. This is what they be saying. My daughter got a smart ass mouth and I don't even know where she get it from. I'm just letting you know right now. You know, we're going to talk about that later.
Absolutely.
You wonder.
Yeah.
You wonder where she got it.
Yeah. And I've seen it. Like, it's just so crazy because I'm like, are we listening to ourselves? And then you're having conversations about these teachers and these authorities in front of your child thinking they're not listening. So when they get there, oh, my mama said, I ain't got to listen to you.
Absolutely.
My mama don't like you anyway.
My mama don't like you anyway.
And then that gives them the
you can't tell me what to do. You ain't my mama.
You ain't my mama.
Well, somebody needs to tell you what to do.
Exactly.
Somebody has to tell you what to do.
So now they're calling their mom like, oh, I need you to come up here and get so-and-so.
And they come.
And that's fine for me.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Miss Angel.
No, but it's learned behavior. It's really what it is.
I have a follow-up question with Melissa just asked. I like what she asked. And how do you bridge the gap for that? If the independence isn't built in the school, in the home early, now I understand that, what Melissa was saying. And then I do understand what you were saying. Some teachers, you know, they want to carry on, but some teachers, like you said, I'm actually here to teach math. I'm not here to teach you to wear deodorant, and I'm not here to have to. That part wasn't part of the description. They told me that you already know that part when you came in here,
right?
So, and I do understand that part, and so it takes a level of humanity to go a little bit further. But when you're in a classroom, and your classroom is, I won't even say the 48. I'll give a regular number that's not even true. If your classroom has 20 people in it, and out of the 20, 10 of them, they don't have the early dependence, and you get stressed trying to give it to all 10 every time. So my question is, how do we bridge the gap? And that part being said, how do we make parents more open and receptive to hear stuff when teachers are trying to tell you that, not only is your child failing at school, but she does actually have a smart mouth, and I want to be able to tell you this without being attacked, and it is the truth when I'm telling you that. So what is the language? If this isn't the language for me to tell you, what is the language, and how did we develop that? How do we bridge the gap to be able to tell the parent? Because as an advocate, I'm being honest when I say I've seen some parents that it did start at home, not some, a lot, and we want to help.
Right.
But what's the language to it? How does the guys bridge gap?
So
or bridge the gap, however that goes.
So as an independent, owner
Thank you.
my own center, I have a community, right? So that's what we need to have. We need to figure out, teachers have to come with community as well. We have to come with a community, and we have to have relationships with these parents, because it's easier to talk to someone when you have a relationship with them than somebody you just pass by, because you're not really going to be receptive to what they got to say. I don't know you. Why are you talking to me? And then they're listening to your tone. They're listening to what you're saying, but they're not hearing you because they're like, you're judging me. We have to, get a relationship first, and then find these communities like you all,
like you
project, and really get to talk to them and tell them, like, these are the things that we need to talk about. And when you're talking to them, teachers, give them 2 positives to a negative. Don't make, if it's a list of things, don't go over the whole list. Pick out one major thing that you can work on, and then give them some positive things to think of. Like, they're doing great here and here, but because of this, I think it's kind of affecting those other 2 things. Right. So that's
like
how you
system.
And that's how you build that relationship. Like, they're like,
you break down the walls that way.
Exactly. They're like, oh, you're paying attention to my kid, so you must care. So let me hear what else. So what else is going on? And that's how you get in there and be like, okay, now this new deodorant. You might need, because sometimes the kids be like, I did take a bath. I did put on deodorant. Sometimes it's clinical, but if they don't know that is not working for me, I need to move on to the next thing.
Yeah, I'll just be telling kids, "Ooh, you spicy."
but you've already built a connection with them to be able to say.
I can't do it with everybody.
That's why I say with other teams, I keep seeing them blow up.
Yeah.
But I like your
'Cause they
method of
feel
how
like
you
you're-
how you said it. So give him 2 positives to a negative.
Yeah.
Because he's chewing the pencils, and we want him to learn cursive, but because he keeps chewing them and breaking the pencils, how are we going to teach it to him? But you know, I not the way I just said it, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and
break
then,
down something that connects.
and then you also have to think like there's some of the things that they're taking negative is probably something that somebody's talked about them about. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like they've heard
At home.
negative parts about it, and so if you mention it now, oh, you talking about me? They
Mhm.
don't hear it as a positive thing that hey, I'm trying to help you because
Right.
you don't know who you're going to run into.
Straight
Gotcha,
up. They better
gotcha.
see how far Michael Jackson took that nose.
Yeah, and when my mom
What?
always wow.
Called me out a big
the
nose. And look what he
world?
did with
Oh,
it.
that's true. Okay. I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Yes. What my mom always taught me when I taught my kids was you can make a first impression one time.
For sure.
Mm. Yeah,
For
for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. So a couple, I don't know, months ago at this point, I saw you in the chat and we were talking about that story out of Los Angeles with Beautiful. Now she was in a daycare.
Yes.
Now we haven't even got to the point where we're asking you about students on the spectrum and how we should be dealing with them with care, compassion, and concern. But as someone who owns and operates their own center, can you talk to me about some of the red flags that stood out to you from that video and why you were so vocal in the comments?
Oh.
You went up.
So my red flags was one, the director. I just feel like as you looking at that video,
Mhm.
anybody that was in that room should have been pulled out.
Period.
There's no reason that a shoe should fly across the room. There's no reason because that's one unsafe. You could hit anybody,
Right.
which you did. So and the compassion was not there. Like just looking at the video, I was just like, oh, me.
Tag me.
Tag me in. Because I don't know if Beautiful had words because you can't really hear anything, but the fact that something was going on, if she was not laying on her mat, there's certain questions that should have been asked first. Why is she not laying on her mat? Let's start there. Maybe she needed to go to the bathroom. Something could have been hurting. You just assumed that she was not complying with what was going on in the room.
Mhm.
If you know she's difficult with laying down, why isn't there a teacher assigned to her to rub her back while she lays down? There are certain steps that should have been taken before you just felt like it was okay to throw a shoe across the
Dirty
room.
tennis shoe.
Like
Dirty.
if you felt that way, you should have excused yourself and been gone for the day. Like if you were that frustrated with kids, it's time for you to tap out. Now, my question is, are the teachers taking breaks like they're supposed to? Because that's out of frustration. When you throw something at somebody, you're frustrated or tired or irritated. That means you should have taken time off and went into another room. The teachers that were sitting there laughing should have been escorted out because you are not there for the kids. That's not a laughing matter.
Right.
I mean, now y'all be ready to expel one of them kids if they would have came to you and slapped you in your face.
Right.
Then now the kids is unruly. Well, they feel attacked.
Mm-hmm.
So
You'd have called your SOR officer.
right. So you don't want kids. You want kids to show you gentle touches, but you don't get to show them gentle touches. They have to respect you, but you don't have to respect them. They're little people. I remind people that just because they're smaller does not make them not people. They are still people, and you're teaching them how to treat other people.
Right. And what do you think the message was that was relayed to that little person at that time?
You're nothing. You're disregarded. Your feelings don't matter. That's what was relayed to her. Because guess what? In her mind is, okay, so if somebody mess with me, I could throw a shoe at them, but then I'm gonna get in trouble.
Learned
Right.
behavior.
It's learned behavior.
Absolutely.
You just taught them how to treat somebody else. And they don't have to love anybody else. This is how I'm supposed to treat everybody. So you in my space, or I don't want to hear your voice anymore, let me hit you. That's what you're teaching them. That's just like people, the kids are hitting, so you go up and pop them. Stop hitting. Okay. That's the way to do it.
So hit them harder.
Right, exactly.
Got it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it just shows that she's not in a safe environment. And I don't know if she had to go back there or if they pulled her immediately, but
my understanding is she did go back and the people that were laughing at her were still in the classroom.
Wow.
so
Wow.
and so
But they didn't get the video till what, 3 or 4 weeks later.
Right. So my question would be, how was drop off? Was she crying and like not wanting to leave mom? Because that would have been a red flag for me.
Mm-hmm.
She loves to come, and then all of a sudden she doesn't want to go. There's something wrong there.
That's some things to really pay attention to with your kids.
Absolutely.
For sure.
And
Why don't you give us a list of things that parents should pay attention to, changes in their children's behavior?
So and you have to really know your kid. That's first. Let's pour in, because if you're not spending enough time with your kids, it will be hard for separation. So don't automatically think that because they're crying that something has happened.
Mm-hmm.
However, if the child cringes when a certain person comes in the room, that's a red flag. And teachers too, pay attention. If they're in the classroom and they only come to one person, why is that? They're not comfortable with everybody else in the room. Let's see. If they're in diapers and they're cringy when you're changing diapers, or it hurts when they change diapers, and that's not necessarily being that they're being touched. That means they're not getting changed on a regular basis. So those are red flags. A child should be changed, or at least checked and changed every 2 hours. So if you're at home and they're like, it hurts, or they don't want to be changed, they're not being changed on a regular basis at school. Let's see.
What about students on IEPs or that have special accommodations that we need to look for? Do you think that folks are following those, or are they thinking that they're optional? What are you seeing?
I would say pop up, especially the 504 plans. I really feel like you should pop up, because they're not always following what they're supposed to do. If they have a 504 plan or IEP and they're still getting in trouble, they're not following through what they're supposed to be doing. Pop up.
I swear, I'm glad. I love that I just heard you say that, and I want to put the power behind you to say the same thing. Pop up. Far too often right now, there's like this movement going on of everybody like whispering some advice to each other. That's, hey, you got to call the school before you show up.
No.
24 hours ahead of time.
Pop up and let me see what's going to happen, because my child's in there. Pop up.
What was sad for me was that Beautiful wasn't her mom had to call before she can come. I have an open door policy. Please come in. We don't even lock the door. They are able to walk in. Hi, how are you? Because there's nothing ill will going on.
Right.
If somebody wants you to call ahead of time, that means they know they have things going on that shouldn't be going on, especially in their classroom.
And they trying to get themselves together.
Right.
I think you should just pop up, because all you're doing at the end of the day, to protect your child, you're just spending some gas money. I'll pop up and let you say that to my face. Like, you can't see your child today. I would like to know why.
And you can find out what your child's, the one that never does that at home, pop up and see what they never do at school. Because what you're saying that they don't do, they might be doing. You don't know what your child's doing outside.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it makes them be held accountable as well. I don't know when my mom or dad gonna pop up here. Let me get myself together.
Yep.
I would never forget my mom popped up on me. And I was in and out of school. I wasn't where I was supposed to be, but thankfully that day I was in the right spot, in the right, but I appreciate the fact that she popped up.
So we are running out of time. We got about a minute and 30 seconds. So tell us again the names of the books and where we can get them for our babies.
Yes, we have Preschool Independence, Making Friends at Preschool, and Preschool Etiquette. And you can get those books on Amazon, and you can also get them at Underground Books. I will say this, there is a Preschool Independence workbook that goes alongside this book.
A workbook?
A workbook.
Ooh, tell us about the workbook.
It helps with tracing, so your child will learn how to write and match things and actually be independent to do it on themselves. And when they're done with their pages, there's little stars that they'll collect at the end. So that they can.
And I was trying to buy
system.
the workbook, but you didn't have them. You had sold out or something was happening.
Did.
So I'm gonna need to buy one of those.
I have to get it. And all of them will have workbooks to go along with them.
So this is one of those things, family, that we need to support our sisters out there.
QR code up there?
That are doing wonderful things and are writing books and are trying to get our babies prepared for preschool and beyond. I don't know. Mr. Chastain has a QR code
hold it
right
up for him?
there.
Oh yeah.
Let me.
Can you do me a favor before we get up out of here, man?
You gonna have to. Let me see.
Straight, because I seen her hair and everything before she came up. Can you stand up so we can see what's on the front of that?
Oh my.
Straight up. Can
me
we
see
can we
it.
can we get that
Isaiah,
on the
can I-
camera?
Hold on. Oh, this way. This way. Wait, where is it? Oh, this way. Okay, there it goes. I'm like, what is happening?
So
My
while you're
fingers
doing
cut-
that,
okay.
I just want to give like a little advice. If you have kids that are watching TV, put on the
Turn it around. Turn it around.
The subtitles.
Turn it around.
Make
They
them
will
read.
they will teach them how to read.
Make them read.
Yeah,
Good game.
and turn it down low.
You gotta focus. You gotta focus
Yeah,
in.
we
on
can
it.
scan and get our books today. Get the whole series. This is amazing, amazing, amazing. Miss Tawana says you're doing great work.
Thank you.
We want to support this sister and make sure Amazon sells out of her books so that they can order some more.
Absolutely. Oh,
Do the-
Got it.
Okay. All right. Look at her. Angel Boone, author. All right. That's what I'm talking about. She cooking. Let her cook. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Thank you for coming through
thank you
in
for having me.
person.
I appreciate it.
We appreciate you. We hope we didn't scare you too much.
No,
we're
I
lovely
felt a lot of
people.
love. I loved it. Thank
We're
you.
lovely people. You guys know that we have Celebration Weekend coming up, but before we do that, Says Summit is next Friday, and we have been asked to do a live episode of Black versus the Board Education at their summit. So we are super excited. I think Melissa's gonna kind of lead as the host, and the rest of us, I guess, we may be co-hosts. I don't know what Melissa got up her
Hey,
sleeve.
we so honored.
That's what's up.
So we're gonna put our baby on blast next week. But after that, June 19th through the 21st, we have Celebration Weekend coming up. We are putting our focus on daddies, on men in the community that are filling the gaps, whether they be coaches, mentors, surrogate fathers, godfathers, or biological fathers. We want to put some love their way, because not only is it Celebration Weekend, it is culminating with Father's Day. So get ready to bring your princesses to the soiree, and your young gentlemen to the soiree. Let us be in community for that. The Family Fun Day, we're going to be competing with dads and kids in the park.
Mhm.
And then we're going to end it out with our Black graduation and dinner for our daddies. So we're excited. I haven't come up with the exact thing, but it's coming in the next couple of days. It's gonna happen. We've been super busy over here, but we gonna push that out pretty soon here. Do you have something to say, Mr. Fox?
God bless everybody, man. I'm happy that we all here. I want to see our celebration weekend thing, but since there was more coming up close, is Miss Melissa. It's like I want to see what energy and everything she helps bring as she's launching us off into the Says Summit. She always shows up with something different. So I want to see
I'm
what that's
hoping
going to be.
she'll start with a poem or something.
I mean, she got it.
Look at her. She's like, let me think. All right. So we got to get out of here. We're going to hit y'all with the peace sign. We will see you next week. I believe candidate for Congress, My Bang, will be here. We're gonna be hanging out with My Bang next week, right here on Black versus the Board of Education. And here's y'all's peace sign. Peace, peace, peace.
Peace, y'all.